Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's a Sunday, partly cloudy sky. I'm feeling more like a weatherman than anything else when I come on these videos. But anyway, coming back from a birthday party with a friend of mine. He turned 52 this past week, and yeah, it was good. Just had to leave a little early, feeling a little tired. Got things to do at home, but I thought I would make a video on the way home, as I do sometimes from my car. And yeah, people ask me, why do I make these videos? You know, that it's sort of a joke, or they don't pay much attention to it. And you know, I think the primary reason why I do these videos is because it's sort of like a way to, I guess, to air out your problems, I guess, or air out your thoughts, air out what's on your mind, you know. And I have a lot on my mind. It's like as everyone else does. I don't know if I've ever said this, but you know, I'm trying to get my business going. I have an online business right now called HelvetiaBushcraft.ch, and where I'm selling off a huge collection of items that are range from surplus to other things. But I make items myself. I make bags and make pouches and make stuff like that too, primarily for the outdoor stuff, or you know, whatever you want to use it for. And I also teach. I give classes in bushcraft and outdoor stuff, survival and preparedness, you know. And there you go. Not all my videos are a lot of my videos are just me talking to the video camera, giving my thoughts about different things that are happening, everything from politics to like I said, the outdoor world, you know, camping and this kind of stuff. But my professional life, what I do until I get there, well, I'm unemployed. I've been unemployed now for almost a year now. I worked at a business that I liked. I enjoyed working there, but the owner, he was a bit, he had some issues, some problems. I'm not going to get too far into that, but we lost a lot of money because of it. And with the situation with COVID, that caused the business to go under. It didn't go under completely, because now he's reopened the business again, and not included any of those of us who fought to try to keep it alive. So, that's what he's doing now. But anyway, if I wouldn't be able to work with him now and have my business, because it would be, because it's very similar things, you know. But because I'm unemployed, I've now been put into like a work program now for the next 3 months, well, the next 2.5 months now. And I've been doing this already, and I get up early every morning to go in. I spend all day in sales. I work in sales, but I sell used stuff, actually. It's stuff that people donate. It's like the Salvation Army or something like that you'd have in America. But here it's called Puscoop. And a lot of people are embarrassed about being a part of this, because it tells everybody else you're unemployed. Makes you, it's tough. It really attacks your humility, I would guess, you know. And then you get treated pretty poorly by the people who come in, because they know you're unemployed. They know that you're having to go through this program, and they treat you like you're not, you know, you have no worth, you know. So it can get to be annoying. And then also some of your colleagues, although the people I work with are really good people, the professional staff that's there, who are primarily HR people, they're really good, and I really enjoy working with them. It's one of those companies that I look at it, I see what they're doing, and I think, hell, I could do that myself. I would enjoy working for a company that way, because I believe in what they're doing. You know, it helps you to basically learn a skill, or to practice your skill, to give you a job while you're looking for a job. Things that it takes a lot of your time up, and you're quite tired. I mean, I get up every morning early, and I don't get home until late because of it, you know. And I'm on my feet all day, and quite tired. And you're really nonstop. You have breaks. I mean, you have a really good lunch break, you know, which, at my age now, I'm taking naps. I'm going to get somewhere and take a nap for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you know, because I'm just worn out. I haven't caught up completely, you know, to this rhythm, I would say, you know. And but I have a meeting tomorrow with my counselor. You have a counselor who helps you to get through all this. Now, this is something I wanted to do already at the very beginning of my unemployment period, but because of COVID and stuff, it just didn't happen. And usually it does. It starts off at the very beginning, and I think it's a very good program, like I said, because a lot of people find jobs through this program, because you have someone helping you write the letters, this kind of stuff. And for me, it's the French. I mean, you have to find the right kind of wording already when you write your opening letters or whatever, you know, for a job, and get your CV really really pinpoint accurate, so that when you go in for a position, you have a better chance of being selected for at least an interview, and that doesn't always happen right now. Now we do have a really low unemployment rate right now, which is quite good, and there's still lots of sales jobs out there, and I work primarily in sales. I mean, I can sell, if you're a salesman, and although I'm very specialized, selling is selling. I have a passion for it. I enjoy the contact with people. So anyway, but it's not always easy, and so that's what I'm doing right now. And it's just a lot of stress, I would say, and like I said, I work with a lot of good people. Some people are a bit more, I would say, egoistic, and they tend to only think about themselves, and you sort of have to in a certain level, but at the same time, I'm someone who wants to do a good job. So when I'm working, even though for this association, this company, I want to do my best there. At the same time, I want to be able to find a job so I can leave there. That's the idea, is to get away from there as quick as possible with success, and get into it, find a good job. But you have some people who are there and just only about themselves, and they sort of, it's sort of irritating sometimes, but it's part of it anyway. But anyway, so that's what's going on with that, So I mean, I have these things going on. Why I make these videos? I make these videos to sort of get things off my chest, I would say, and I have ideas, I have passions, and I'm trying to explore all of them. It's not always easy. I enjoy writing, and I enjoy storytelling, and I really enjoy. I don't mind being in front of the camera. I'm not someone who likes to be out front when it comes to being a braggart or something like that. I'm someone who likes to be more in the background. I've never asked for the spotlight, but I do know that you have to sort of stand in the front if you're going to lead or if you're going to run something, and that's what you have to do. I've never been someone who did all the yelling and that kind of stuff. Even when I was in the Army, I was more quieter, although I talked all the time and was known for a lot of talking. But when it comes to just jab, 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 I just had a lot of energy, just hyper energetic, and so now I'm concentrating on my business and finding a job. And at the same time, single guy, love to meet a nice lady out there somewhere. It's not easy either. And especially here in Switzerland, people ask me, why don't I go back to the United States? What do I have to lose by going back to the United States? Well, I sort of don't want to quit. I want to keep at it here. I only have a few more years, 6 more years before I think I have to retire, or I can retire. Maybe more than that, maybe 8 years, I don't know. Maybe 10. I think it could be 10 years. But that's 10 years I want to, I got out of the Army after 10 years, and if I'd have spent another 10 years, I could have retired from the Army with 20 or stayed in a little longer. And I didn't. I got out, and I should have stayed in. So I'm sort of like at the point where I'm going to keep at this until it's time, and it's, for me, it's just not time yet. And like I said, there are things to be done here. I speak the language. I have friends here. I enjoy being here, I was having this conversation with somebody, I posted something on Facebook about how Americans, and as an American, they got to remember, I spent more than half my life now in Europe, but as an American, I see Americans crying about gas prices, and sure, the prices are really up there, but you know what? They're twice as much here, we pay per the liter what you pay per the gallon, and now you're paying more for the gallon, and you're still paying less than we are. I mean, the price now for a liter of gas here is like $2.30, $2.20 or whatever for a liter. Well, a liter's 3.8. You multiply 3.8 times 2.2, and or 2 point whatever, you'll get around about $9, for a gallon of gas. So I hear Americans complaining about gas, and I want to tell them, so you know what? It's not the fault of the oil companies. It's the fault of the government. Sure, there are oil companies probably profiting from this, but what's really happening is that you have the government who are overtaxing. I had a really good conversation, 30 minutes, many years ago, with Rex Tillerman, and at that time he was the president of the Boy Scouts of America. So, and we were in Normandy for an event, and I got to spend time with him talking. He was a really nice guy, Texan. He sounded Texan. And he was, former Secretary of State under Trump, but, and I think I remember him telling me that, per barrel, I think you said that I think he said they made about between $4 and $15 a barrel. You know, the oil companies. Now, of course, if you're selling, you know, 5 million barrels a day, that's a lot of money, you know, to be had. So it's not like they're not, you know, but at the end, the rest of it's a lot of it's taxes and of course all the overhead, you know. But yeah, the governments are taking advantage of this and they're overtaxing. They're taxing the hell, especially the left. But yeah, the other governments are really profiting from this, and I think the government, especially here in the West, could be doing a lot better. And they knew what was going to happen, and I think that's what Putin sort of like, you know, has done what he has done, because he figured that the West would cower down, and that so would Ukraine. Well, none of this has happened, and for some crazy reason, for the first time in history, NATO has suddenly, you know, bucked up a bit, you know, and come together instead of splitting up, which is what Putin imagined would happen. And now, of course, there's a fear of a full-out war within Europe. I don't think that's necessarily going to happen, but it could happen, especially if he felt like that he needed to involve tactical nukes within Ukraine. Then it could cause a bigger confrontation. And then, of course, you got China, who are in Iran right now, who are getting more bold. And China probably not until the end of the year, because of their national, once every 5 years, they're meeting the Congress. They get together and they vote for a new premier, you know, or what we refer to as a president, and then of course their agenda, you know, for the next 5 years. So, and plus, you know, one thing that Ukraine should be a note to China is that Taiwan's not going to be even any easier. Taiwan's not going to roll over. Taiwan is one of probably the most technologically in countries in the world, and they have a lot of technology behind them. They have a lot of weaponry. They have a lot, and everybody there mandatory training, so they can easily hand out weapons and people, you know. And it's also very mountainous, very hard to defend, very easy to defend, but very hard to take. And I'm going to tell you right now, at the end of the day, China has what? Aircraft carrier. China has a lot of aircraft, this kind of stuff. China has a lot of boats, but can they get the troops across to do that? And there's not a lot of drop zones in Taiwan. So anyway, even right now with the air defense the way it is, it's tough being a paratrooper. It's very tough to get in, and you got to be very good about it. I mean, to get them in, and right now a lot of stuff's happening that the Russians are finding out in Ukraine, that Ukraine's not a rollover. But anyway, this has caused a lot of anxiety in the market, and of course across the world. So we have a lot of people who are suffering from just the fear of all this, you know. And I'm not so fearful of it, because if it does were to come, then, you know, I can be ready as I can. And that gets back into what I do for a living on the side in my business, and that is I try to help people. I try to teach them everything from land navigation to a certain level of prepping. I'm not a huge prepper when it comes to stores of food and that kind of stuff at my home. The reason why I'm not such a huge prepper is because then I got to defend that, and I want to be able to rock and roll, you know. And rolling may be on foot, it may be on horseback, it may be in the car, it may be on my bicycle, you know, whatever, you know. So for me, it's getting to know my terrain, because terrain dictates, and being able to get myself, because I'm alone, I live alone, from A to Z, you know. I let my cats go and give them all the food I could, and then I would move out, you know, because I'm not going to be able to carry them with me for that kind of distance, you know. And they'll do fine. Cats are cats. Anyways, I have 2 cats. But my kids live in other countries. One in Germany with his fiance, and then one in the UK. So my priorities would be trying to get to them or get them out. But anyway, this is sort of what I do. I help people to make these decisions for themselves, to find the best routes for themselves, the best route that they need to take in their life to if something were to happen, whether it be a natural disaster or, you know, like with COVID happened. You know, a lot of people realized that they weren't ready for anything, and they still aren't. I'm sorry. I mean, if you go out, people buying all this toilet paper, this was more psychological than anything else. It wasn't a need for toilet paper. It was just a need to I guess, to feel like you're doing something. So people were overbuying things that they thought they needed to stock, where in reality they needed to stock dry goods. They need to be doing that for a long time. You know, have plenty of, if you need to have, you know, get that 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year of food at your house that you can store. Okay, non-perishable goods. You know, that's if you have a farm, that's what I do. You got animals at the farm, this kind of stuff. Now you're gonna have to protect them also. You're gonna have to keep them from getting, you know, you gotta be prepared to keep people from coming in and stealing your animals also. So a lot of that's going on. So it's good to connect with your neighbors, people you can trust, you can feel comfortable with. But anyway, back to the point of this video is about why I make these videos. And people ask me all the time, why do I make them, you know? And because I don't have just a set agenda. For my business channel, I have a set agenda. You know, it's about the business. This right here, it's a mix. You know, sometimes I overlap the two. Sometimes I'll make a video about something one week. Next week I'll do a similar video, but more to it for the more production, I would say, value for the business. Because look, if you want to learn to build a fire, let me know if you live in the area, and we can get together and we can work on these skills, because you need to work on them. Yeah, sure, you can learn a lot from YouTube, but you're not going to learn everything you need to know. Okay, there's a feeling that you get from it, you know, and that feeling is you getting out there and doing it and learning how to do it from someone who has some experience, who can help you to answer your questions. Because some people get into it and you keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and you never get better. So it's good to take a course. I suggest everybody try to take some kind of an outdoor learning courses, where, you know, from fire building to, you know, choosing camp to what you need kit wise. You know, I made a video here recently about you know, being prepared, having your bob, you know, your bug out bag, you know, and that was a 25-minute video talking about, you know, the easy. It's very simple. You know, what are you going to need? 72 to 100 hours. I don't do just 72 hours because you get caught somewhere and you don't have any food on you. You know, you don't have enough food on you, or you don't have a way. You know, you can only carry so much water, so you need to have something that you can not only a container for water, but a way of purifying it and a way of taking it from somewhere. You know, so a small Sawyer or MSR, a Katadyn water filter, or some tablets. You can't always build a fire somewhere, so you may need to filter, you know. And if you can't build a fire, then you can boil. You have the right container for that, for boiling, you know. You don't need 15 knives. You only need one good fixed blade knife, and get you a little folder, and get you a handsaw, you know. And you know, these will do a lot, you know. Get you an axe if you want an axe, you know, to carry. But remember, these things are going to start weighing. You're going to start taking up on the outside of your pack, and this kind of stuff. And you're not going to be able to fly with a lot of these tools on you anyway. So you got to be prepared to, you know, go to an airport somewhere and put them in maybe you put them in a post office box and post them back to wherever you're going, you know, at the last minute. But, you know, these things are important to know and to learn. Look, the biggest thing that you got to learn is to deal with the situation. Get your mind in check. How to deal with what's ahead of you, you know. And the best way of doing that is rehearsing, practicing, learning, continue learning, drilling yourself, going through these things a little bit, you know. Go out, go camping, you know. Best way to learn how to camp is to go camp, you know. You learn, you learn that very quickly, you know. And you learn very quickly what you really need and don't need. And I remember, and I've said this before, I think, in previous videos or maybe stories, that when I first got out of the Army, I arrived here in Switzerland, and my wife and I, at the time, we wanted to go hiking and camping. And so I just happened to have my old Alice backpack with me, and which I'd taken with me over here, and I had, which since then I'd given to somebody else because I thought, you know, I wanted something a lot better than Alice. And then but I found my old packing list from when I was in the Army. I said, here we go, because I really did not. I mean, I knew about what I needed to carry in the Army, but what do I really need in the real world, you know? And I found out that the Army stuff wasn't what I really needed. I mean, I didn't need to carry extra ammo and anti-tank weapons and claymore mines and grenades and a bunch of stuff that I didn't need that. What I needed were the 10 essentials, and you can go on, you can find out what the 10 essentials are, and that's actually, you can get that pretty compact. But I carried 10 essentials that are pretty robust, you know, that will last more than one use, and then some sleep system. And instead of a rain jacket, get yourself a poncho that you can use to sleep under or to cover yourself with. and get yourself some dehydrated meals, you know, because fresh food, it's not going to last very long. It's not going to stay very fresh, you know, while you're moving around, you know, and a way to, like I said, water and filters kind of stuff. So I mean, you gotta be prepared for this stuff, and not just carry it, but you gotta know how to use it and what it's used for, you know. Not just carry a knife, but know how to sharpen a knife. Not just carry a first aid kit, but know how to give someone first aid or yourself. Okay, and so, you know, it's not just about carrying a book of matches or a lighter, but to build a fire. But do you know the technique, the principles to building a fire? What it takes to really be successful 100% of the time, no matter what the weather is. So these are things you gotta think about, and you need to be aware of. Okay, it's like right now with your car. You know, I mean, I wish I'd filled my car up last week when I had the chance to, and I didn't think about it, because this week it's 30 cents more, well, 35 cents more a liter, you know, so it's increased. I saw something a minute ago, someone who drives a tractor trailer, he said that there is gas right here, $2.20 a liter for diesel, $2.16 for gas, and $2.08 for another one. And for a bicycle, it said 0. Well, the problem is the distances here. You can't necessarily ride anywhere. I have to leave tonight to get to work tomorrow, you know. But back to the point, though, is that, you know, you're going to have to make sure your car is filled up at all times, you know, and make sure you got enough fuel to get you not from A to B, but A to Z, you know, and then maybe back. And be prepared to do all the consequences it takes to get there, all the security. You know, you're not going to be able to just travel down the highway. Matter of fact, you want to avoid the highway because everybody's doing the highway. You don't want to be stuck in that traffic. So you need to learn all the back roads. You need to learn how to drive cross country, you know. Make sure your vehicle's capable of doing that, you know. I'm sorry, but these little Minis and this kind of Mini Coopers that you guys buy because you think you're going to pick up girls, or girls are going to buy because it looks fun to drive around in with the top down, that's not going to get you from A to Z, okay? That Ford pickup truck, that Jeep, that Subaru, that has a much better chance of getting you from A to Z, you know. You got to make sure your car can handle that. It's ready, all the fluids. So you got to do your preventive maintenance constantly, make sure things are going, make sure the service is up to date, make sure your tires are ready, and that the car has some things in it that you'll need, okay, already. And that is, you know, like I said, some extra water, some food. I keep sleeping bags and blankets in there. I got a box right here behind me because I can't keep it in the very back of my truck. I don't have a cab back there. I don't have a camper top hard shell back there yet. But I keep these things in the back of my car here, and I can take them out easily, but I don't like taking them out because I know that, you know, you never know what's going to happen between here and the store, or here and work, you know. So I try to keep what I need in here, from a shovel to first aid kits to water, some extra food, that's dried food, and the ability to make fire, you know, all these kind of little things. The 10 essentials, but in my car. And then the extra stuff like a shovel and this kind of stuff. So all these things are important, and it's important that you are aware of this, okay? If your primary transport is on foot, then you need to have the right kind of footwear, you know, and the right kind of clothing, right kind of socks, you know. Do you need to carry 7 days of clothing with you? No. You need to carry some extra underwear and socks, maybe an extra t-shirt, but you need to have a jacket, you know, you be ready for the weather, you know, and have something to sleep in and under, okay? That's what's important, because if you're in a city, then you have to find somewhere you can hide out. Don't wear bright clothes, don't carry a bunch of bright colored stuff, you know, get you some more somber stuff so that you can hide out. You don't want to be visible. You want to be invisible. You want to be the gray man, even in the crowd. You don't want to stick out. You don't look like you're super tactical either, you know? So all these things matter. All these things matter, and all these things are important, and it can be the difference between from being preyed on by somebody else, you know. Go back to arming yourself, okay? You know, I'm not going to carry a long rifle with me unless I have to, absolutely have to. But I will carry a sidearm with me, you know, and that should be enough, because I'm going to avoid trouble. I'm going to take the long way around, okay, to get somewhere, and I'm going to travel mostly at night. Of course, if you're dealing with normal people. Now, if you're dealing with governments, this kind of stuff, traveling at night, you know, it's still very dangerous. But, you know, you got to work your way through all this. You know, you got to find what's going to work for you. Have your routes, and not just one, but many routes. Where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, and how you're going to do it, how you're going to work all this stuff out. All these questions, you got to sort it out yourself. It's not going to sort it out by itself. So be ready, plan, get your maps, get your paper maps, not just your map on your telephone, because, you know, these GPS systems can be turned off with a click, you know. So get yourself ready. All right. And have your family ready. Not in a stressed out way, but just in, okay. And if it were to happen, like I said, if you go camping enough and you go out, you hang out outdoors enough, you'll get the physical side, you'll get the mental side, and your family will get used to it. So it's not so much of a stress on a family to quickly get in the car at night and drive off, okay, to do something. And if you really think things are starting to heat up and you have a place to go, maybe it's time to just, you know, bug out. You know, if you have to fly across to North America or wherever, you know, bug out. Find a country that doesn't have many political problems, has a lot less technology, and not very expensive, and you can get there and you can live off whatever cash you can carry with you, you know, for an extended amount of time, you know. So all these things are factors in it, things you got to be aware of, and there you go. Anyway, why do I make these videos? Because I need to work these things out in my own head, but also I do want to help people if I can. And I hope that I am helping out with these videos some. I hope more, but you never know. But one thing I will ask you is if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. And please like, share, and comment on my videos, and follow me, okay? Hear from me again soon, and I hope to hear back from you. And I hope you all have a pleasant Sunday afternoon, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Take care. Goodbye.